Hi Tracy, my name is Chriselle Miraflor and I really enjoyed your video. I loved hearing about what you found online by MJ Mueller, just going through her article and her own informed consent. I really loved all the different components and layers that you mentioned and how detailed they were, and so I thank you so much for describing those in detail and just really explaining what is expected in the counseling session. And actually one of the things that that really stood out to me in your video was when you mentioned her time off policy, and I don't think I've ever seen an informed consent that has a time off policy, or at least provides a lot of value into time off policies. And so I think that's really cool that you pointed that out in her informed consent. And you mentioned that she takes 30 full days every 2 years to travel abroad, and she takes 2 weeks off every December. And so I think that is really important, and I love that she's aware of taking time off, because I think that she's aware of the potential burnouts that she can have. And in the other class that I'm taking, Counseling 500, we just talked about how counselors go through impairment in the counseling session because of the heaviness that the clients express in the session. And so because we had just gone over it, I immediately thought of that, and just the importance of taking time off and being aware and acknowledging that you need time off so that you can have self-care and not have these potential burnouts. And so I did want to discuss a little bit of what impairment is in this video. And in this article by Lawson and Vinart, 2005, they describe counselor impairment as this. Therapeutic impairment occurs when there is a significant negative impact on a counselor's professional functioning, which compromises client care or poses the potential for harm to the client. And impairment may be due to substance abuse or chemical dependency, mental illnesses, personal crises, traumatic events, trauma, burnout, life crisis, etc. And in the American Counseling Association, they state that counselors should monitor themselves for signs of impairment from their own physical, mental, or emotional problems, and refrain from offering or providing professional services when impaired. So I really appreciated that Mueller, has this time off policy to give their client awareness that they will take a certain amount of time off in order to prevent counselor impairment from happening, because self-care is just so important, and it's so valuable and so needed in the counseling realm. And so in another article that I found by Hunter 2016, they talk about the different progressions of burnout or impairment, and it's burnout, compassion fatigue, and secondhand depression. So just in order to prevent all of that from happening to a counselor, it is really essential that the counselor takes time to be aware of the signs and take those necessary days off so that they can provide the best treatment to their clients.